Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for stopping by again. This is another intriguing Whimsy upload. I hope you all like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell to stay notified for my newest uploads. Let's hop in.
Countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. They own everything, the whole damn planet. They can do whatever they want. Do it to your own kind.
They are dismantling the sleeping middle class. More and more people are becoming poor. We are their cattle. We are being bred for slavery. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain.
You need a place to stay? Chesterfield's over on 4th Street, out from the showers. I'm going that way if you want me to show you. Steel mills were laying people off left and right. They finally went under. We gave the steel companies a break when they needed it. You know what they gave themselves? Raises. The whole deal's like some kind of crazy game. They put you at the starting line. The name of the game is make it through life. Well, everyone's out for themselves and look to do you in at the same time. So how are you gonna make it?
Hard day's work for anyone who just won the chance. It'll come. I believe in America. I follow the rules. Everybody's got their own hard times these days. What's inside there, Ryan? All kinds of cardboard boxes, some kind of lab set.
What do you mean?
There's no singing. It's a tape recorder.
Leave it alone, man. None of my business, ain't none of yours.
We have to face facts. Only a few seconds got on the air. It's time to forget about breaking in on top of their signal. They're only going to jam us out again and again. Then we have to send the shipment out on the street.
Look, we're in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. They're all around us. We never knew it. You can only see them with these special glasses.
I've got one that can see.
That's far enough. Where'd you get those glasses?
Our transmitter is not powerful enough. The signal must be shut off at the source.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
We seek out and locate their signal and shut it off.
Their mouths are full of bitterness and curses, and in their paths, nothing but ruin and misery, and the fear of God is not before their eyes. They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth. Our human spirit is corrupted. Why do we worship greed? Because outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners. Our owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you, all around you.
Easy to apply nails, pre-colored in 7 luscious hues. Just
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Oh, goddamn hacker, that second damn night that asshole's cut in.
The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent through.
It's giving me a headache. Yeah, tell me about it. Must took the hackers months to figure out how to do this.
The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
They're pulling the water out of the sand like sponge.
Maple Street, in the last calm and reflective moment before the monsters came. At the sound of the roar and the flash of light, it will be precisely 6:43 p.m. on Maple Street.
Steve, what was that?
I guess it was a meteor, honey. Came awful close, didn't it?
Much too close. Steve, the power's off. I had the soup on the stove and the stove just stopped working.
I'll cut across the backyard, see if the power is still on Floral Street. I'll take a run downtown. Maybe I can get it straightened out.
Mr. Brand? Mr. Brand, please don't leave here. You might not even be able to get to town. It was that way in the story. Nobody could leave. They sent 4 people, a mother and a father and 2 kids who looked just like humans. But they weren't.
Car started somehow.
He never did come out to look at that thing that flew overhead. He wasn't even interested. He always was an oddball. And why didn't he come out with the rest of us to look? What do you say we go ask him?
Wait a minute! Now, let's not be a mob.
What's happening?
Well, maybe you better tell us. How do you figure it started, lad?
The whole thing is just weird.
Well, if that's the case, Les Goodman, then explain why you...
Look, let's just forget it.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let her talk. Go ahead, explain why.
Well, a couple of times I've come out on my porch and I've seen Les Goodman here, standing in his yard, just looking up at the sky. As though he were looking for something.
You scared, frightened rabbits, you. You're sick people, do you know that? And you don't even know what you're starting here, because let me tell you, you're starting something here that's what you should be frightened of.
Yeah, I think maybe everything might as well come out now. Your wife's been doing a little talking, Steve, about some of the odd things you've been doing.
Go ahead, what's my wife said? Let's get it all out. Let's pick out every idiosyncrasy of every man, woman, and child on this whole street. You're all set to find a scapegoat. You're all desperate to point some kind of a finger at a neighbor.
Well, there's no need getting so upset, Steve.
It's the monster! It's the monster!
A shotgun? Would somebody think a thought around it? What good is a shotgun?
Don't talk, Steve. You're gonna talk us right into a grave. You'd let whatever's out there walk right over us, wouldn't you? Well, some of us won't.
It's Pete Van Horn.
Charlie, you killed him.
How was I supposed to know who he was?
Didn't know.
Charlie, the lights just went on in your house.
It's Bob Weaver's house.
It isn't Bob Weaver's place. It's Don's house.
What's the matter with you people? Now stop.
Understand the procedure now? Throw them into darkness for a few hours and then sit back and watch the pattern. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves. And I take it this place is not unique. By no means. Their world is full of Maple Streets. And we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves.
The tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and explosions and fallout. There are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices. For the record, prejudices can kill, and a thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout all of its own. And the pity of it is that these things cannot be confined to the Twilight Zone.
That's one thing that builds distrust, because you have to have distrust of who's giving you your information to feel like maybe the flat earth is feasible, right?
It is photoshopped, but it has to be.
Well, in even the Moonlander
understanding is one of those things where, like, maybe 20 years ago everybody thought, oh, that's stupid, that's crazy, but now I feel like kind of everybody's down for the millennium thing.
I was like, let me break some stuff down. The world that we live in, let's really analyze this. We live in a world that is all based on material things. Materialism really is what controls the country. Money, really it's about sex, it's about objects.
This is my shoe closet.
It's about egos and how people feel about themselves. All marketing is based off of fears and compulsions to make us be driven to want to do things, right? So our whole life is filled with billboards and advertisements and commercials, and it keeps us very occupied on that surface level of life, right? And it makes it easier to control you. You know, music is a huge influence on the culture. You know, we had gangster rap 20 years ago.
Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. When I'm called off, I got a sawed-off. Squeeze the trigger and bodies all hauled off.
And then all of a sudden, the prison system started filling up even faster. You have nowadays with people rapping about Xanax, opiates.
Xanax gone fake. Designer shoes is in X-Town. Bumping on X, bumping on X, bumping on X pills.
So obviously the kids now are putting themselves into a deeper slumber. Like they want to dumb us down and just make us robotic, you know, just to make us feel like just pawns in a chess game. Think about like marijuana. We live in a world where there's a seed that if you put it in dirt in front of your house, you could possibly go to jail. They don't allow you to do psychedelic drugs. They make you feel like those are the devil and those are evil. But things like alcohol are legal. Prescription drugs are legal. You know, things that are really killing people. So they want to suppress us.
Wait, you think weed and like mushrooms and stuff, you think for the most part all that's illegal because
things like weed or things like mushrooms, they expand your mind and they really put you into the universe, and it puts you in a perspective of what life is all about. For instance, there's a drug DMT. 90% of people that smoke this drug, when they first smoke it, they hear in their head, "We're so happy you found this technology." So think about that. I mean, so they want to get you into something where they can completely control you. I mean, we're at the point now where they put little machines in your house to basically do everything for you, where you have phones listening on everything to tell you your next purchase that you want to make.
And then on my Instagram feed, a commercial for Triscuits popped up. They're listening.
They're listening in.
I mean, they want to be able to go in your house and stock your groceries. That's true. That's just a test to see, are the people ready for that yet? Are they ready for us to go in their house and stock their fridge?
like the flat Earth kind of makes sense if you think the simulation theory is real. Why wouldn't the Earth be flat? Why wouldn't there be an ending on each side? And Elon Musk, the guy that really made it popular.
Obviously, this feels real. The odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions. I don't think I'm being played by somebody in a video game. But then people in video games don't generally think that.
He's like a genius, everybody trusts him, he created Tesla, all these things. Well, one thing that he did that like a lot of flat earthers felt like was a personal attack was when he sent that car into space. But in that video, there is a weird moment, and it's like a glitch, and it's a moment where it kind of looks like a green screen, you see the Earth behind the car, and then it's a studio, and then it's back.
Who knows, maybe this is Elon Musk's way of giving us a little Easter egg. Maybe he never actually shot this car into space, because this guy believes in this whole simulation theory. So why does he care about outer space? Maybe that was a little thing to put in there. Like, hey guys, let me give you a little idea that all of this is fake. All this space stuff is fake. You know what I'm saying? This is just a distraction. And then
you get your information from a book written by men you've never met, and you take their words as truth.
I mean, they say, well, in an airplane you could see it, but I can't see it. You're at 6 feet tall, I can see about 3 miles ahead of me. And I can see about 20 miles in the panoramic setting. If I'm 10,000 feet up, more than 1,000 times taller than what I am, shouldn't I be able to see about 1,000 times more at minimum? I mean, the Earth is only 24,000 miles around. I should be able to see some kind of a curve. They send hot air balloons up, they just still see the same horizon.
So if the Earth is flat, why do people in charge want us to think it's round?
Because on a round Earth, hurling through space at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, we're not really here for a purpose. We're just here coincidentally because of a big bang and particles and evolution. But on a flat Earth,
just a dome on top of it, or even just a flat earth with just the heavens above, all of a sudden we have purpose. Think about if the moon knew your name, how personal you'd feel with the universe. You know the moon's name, the moon doesn't know your name. You're not important to the moon. But what if the moon existed solely for you? What if the universe was for you? But instead the government wants you to feel like it's all unpredictable and at any point it's all gonna go to shit because we really don't matter anyways. We're just a rock flying through space. So it just makes us feel insignificant. And that's easier for them to control. And the best way to take over people is to create conflict and to get them obsessive over things that don't really matter to their existence.
There's a little shit out of here.
It is the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone.
What do you like about Supreme?
The hype and the exclusivity.
So a lot of people are coming for the accessories, especially like the shovel.
Yeah, the shovel is kind of crazy.
Why does everyone want the crowbar?
Because it's a fucking crowbar. Are you fucking serious?
Think about it. The earth literally grows things out of the dirt that provide you all you need to exist. Why the fuck are we going to McDonald's or to Starbucks or to all these places to spend all of our money? There was a system built around society to control you within it.
I'm off to McDonald's to see all the boys and girls.
They constantly make you want more.
So now that I'm thinking about that, why is everybody that even thinks maybe there's a possibility of the earth being flat called crazy?
Because it's a way to discredit people. So by them calling you crazy, they've discredited everything about you. Conspiracy theorist is a term created to make people look crazy in the first place. Like, when did we become a society that instead of exploring theories, started calling things conspiracies? Like, it's almost they don't want you to be a free thinker. So it's almost, how do you stop information from spreading? You discredit all of it by flooding the information highways with the debunking stuff, or you're crazy if you believe this. The government actually has a website called the Flat Earth Society just to spread bad information. Why would the government put out information to debunk something that's clearly insane? You know, because right when you Google it, if all you see is you're crazy if you believe this, why would you want to look further into that? So it doesn't ever let you get to the point of the theory that really has value. The reason I like the theory, because it puts me in a place that I matter, that I have a purpose. There's design. This was designed as opposed to just coincidentally happening. That I somehow, have meaning in this as opposed to I'm a speck of dirt on this planet that's just hurtling through space. And they don't want you to feel like that. So that really is what it is. In order to control the sheep, you have to make them feel like there's a gate there. So they constantly keep a gate there. There's videos of sheep that they take out the barbed wire on a gate, and they believe the gate is still there. So they all smash against this area without being forced in by the gate. They've just been trained that this rectangular area that has a gate is where you stay. They could go at any point, it's just they're brainwashed into believing that gate's still there, right? What would they think if all of a sudden they realize there's no gate there, I can roam free? What would that do to the sheep herder? The sheep herder has to make those sheep believe that they're stuck there, and their only purpose is to follow him and do what he says. All we are is just getting fur for sweaters and chopped up for meat to eat, you know what I'm saying? That's how we're being treated. What are sheep? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so now that we've talked about it, do you think the earth is flat?
100% honest, I don't care about the shape of the earth. to be honest with you, we're generalizing the theory when we just call it flat earth. Flat earth is just one variable, it's just the shape of the earth. Do I believe that this earth was designed to have things on it that could have purpose? Yes. So I see myself attracted more to it than I do a Big Bang Theory where people evolved and we're just here because of a cycle, and that's pretty much it. And then at any point an asteroid's going to hit us, we're all going to be dust. So I subscribe to the ideology of the flat earth theory. As far as it being flat, it becomes less and less important to me as I dig into it. What becomes more important to me is why am I here? And why am I here doesn't make sense unless you put in context that things were created for a purpose.
I guess if you put it that way, I guess I believe it too.
Oh my god! They say all the footage of the original moon landing was lost.
You know what they think happened to the original moon tapes? Is it might have been taped over. It's not a cassette, it's not an old mixtape from college.
We have been unable to to track it down.
And as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
It's incredible that we can keep track of Egyptian pots from 2,000 years ago, but we lose tapes made only 40 years ago.
So we lose all the footage, and all the technology was destroyed.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
Right, and then Einstein thought of the theory of gravity, which is just a theory. You have the Big Bang Theory, the theory of gravity. So now we have a disbelief for these things. The last thing that you have to think about is religion. So in the Bible, it talks about the sea, there's the sky, there's the firmament. What the firmament is a dome.
It says that in the Bible.
Yeah, there's a firmament, so the dome shaped, the heavens are above it, and then it talks about how the earth expands to its four corners. So that also would make you feel like there could be a flat shape to it.
Oh. This is not me fulfilling my destiny. This is not me following in my father's footsteps. This is definitely not me saving the world.
Still trying to figure out who you are.
This is not me. This is just a motherfucking decoy.
Oh, fuck.
This is me taking control. From Sloan. From the fraternity. From Janus. From billing reports. From ergonomic keyboards. Cheating girlfriends and sack of shit best friends. This is me taking back control of my life. What the fuck have you done lately?
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! What?
This couple spent 20 years building a self-sufficient floating island home, and it's awesome. When Wayne and his partner Catherine decided to go off-grid, they did it in style. Indeed, after more than 2 decades of work, you'll scarcely believe the amazing structure that they've built in a remote corner of Canada. It's mind-blowing.